You're watching E.T.N. Entertainment-related new, entertainment-related discussion. Share and subscribe.
Now, this happened late last year. Now, what I used to do when I did the rideshare, sometimes I'd go to Boston, and sometimes I would stay local. You know, it really depended how I felt. It really depended what the map said. Sometimes the map would give you kind of signatures of where the hotspots are. So if I saw that Boston didn't have too many hotspots, which was rare on a Friday night, I wouldn't go. And the hotspots, the darker they are, the more money there is, the lighter they are, the less, bonus. So I always used to try and take into account how long it took me to get to Boston, which is about a 45-minute, 50-minute drive for me. So I used to take into account the gas. Is it worth it? Well, blah, blah, blah. So this night I decided to stay local. So I started at about 6:30, and I usually started the night filling up the tank. Then I would kind of park the car, turn on the app, and then just wait. So I turned on the app after I got my gas, and within 5 minutes I got a buzz. So I went to pick these people up. Now, I got to the house, and I parked outside. Now, the passengers have about 2 minutes or 3 minutes to come outside before they start being rate charged. I waited outside like 10 minutes. And then this girl comes out. She's smoking a cigarette. And she had bags. So, I went out, opened the trunk, and she's putting stuff in. And she's like, do you mind waiting a little bit longer? We have some more stuff. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. I just want you to know, though, it's on the clock now. So she's like, no, don't worry, no problem. So basically, her boyfriend comes out and she comes out, and they come out and make a couple of trips. Basically, bags full of clothes, and she looks like they're moving out. No furniture or anything, but they pretty much filled my trunk with a bunch of bags full of shit, right? Instruments, because the guy was a DJ or some shit. So then, after about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, they finally got in the car. We're ready to go. Hey, and now these people were not dressed well, okay? And to be quite honest, I was 100% convinced that they were meth heads, and they reeked of fucking cigarettes. So I said to myself, damn, my car's going to stink. But I said, all right, don't worry about it, So they got in the car, and, I told them, look, you guys can't smoke in the car. They were like, cool, no problem. So they were like, is it okay if we make a stop? And I'm like, well, I got to add it to the trip. And they're like, no problem. So they gave me the address. I added it to the trip. So we made a stop to this place. It was like, I don't know what you call it, but the guy it was like a storage facility. But on top of being a storage facility, you could also like rent a room there. It was pretty ghetto. So we went in, and they both got at the car. She stood outside the car smoking a cigarette. He went in to get more stuff. He came out with like some music shit, put it in the trunk. They both lit a cigarette. She lit a second one. He lit another one. And they were smoking outside the car. And I'm like, all right, hey, I'm making money one way or the other. I don't got anywhere to go. So they finish the cigarette. They get into the car. Now, their trip was to Worcester, Massachusetts, which is pretty much like going to Boston. I would say it's about 40 minutes. So I'm like, cool. My first ride of the night, 40 minutes. That's going to be an easy $100 right there, my first ride. So I'm cool with it. So on the way to the highway, the girl taps me on the shoulder. Hey, can we stop at McDonald's? And I'm like, I got to add, oh, no problem. Okay. Stop at a Mickey D's. They went in. They got their shit. They ate outside the car, smoked a cigarette, and got back in the car. We're off. Now, just mind you, I'm speaking quickly about the story, but keep in mind, the clock's ticking. We're already like an hour into this trip, and we've gotten nowhere. Fine. Riding towards the highway. Yes. Can you stop at a Walmart? I got to pick up my medication. I'm like, no problem. Okay. Drive to the Walmart, park in the parking lot. They both get out. They smoke a cigarette before they go in. Then they go into the fucking store. So even though I know I'm making cheddar right now, I'm also like, can we get the fucking ball rolling here? I do want to get back and have more trips. I don't want to waste a whole night on one fucking ride. So they go in. Like 20 minutes later, they come out. Come back to the car. They smoke another cigarette. At this point, I was almost tempted to tell them to smoke in the fucking car. So they smoke this cigarette. They get in the car. Fine. We finally make it to the highway. It's dark. At this point, like almost an hour and a half has gone by already. We're driving. About 15 minutes into the highway drive. Now, mind you, I'm on the 495. The further you go down the 495 north, I think, it was north, the darker it gets. The lights start to kind of, not that they dim, but you start to rely on the reflectors. So I'm driving and I'm focusing, and I start hearing some weird noises in the back. And I'm not going to lie, I'm looking at the rear view mirror because I want to make sure these two ain't fucking in my car. Because I hear kissing noises. I hear... And then I see movement in the back. And I thought to myself, my kids sit in this car. I said, I keep my car pretty clean. I like my car to stay clean. And I don't want these rat-ass motherfuckers fucking in the backseat of my car. So I popped the light. And they were like, a little bit surprised. And I said, look, I'm going to be very honest with you. I don't know what you're doing back there, but you better not be fucking. My kids sit back there. Oh, no, man, we're not doing nothing like that, man. We're just trying to get comfortable, man. Like, we're just really tired and I'm moving from there. And he's giving me the soul, and I don't give a fuck. I just want to get these two fucking crackheads to where they need to be. So we get up there to Worcester, and this is when it gets weird. So right as I get out the exit, I'm heading towards where, the destination's telling me. And he stops me. He says, "Hey, can you find the nearest hospital?" And I'm like, the fuck? I'm like, why? Did you get hurt? Are you hurt? No, man. We're just, we got to get to a hospital. And I don't fucking know where the hospital is in Worcester. So I'm like, I asked him, I'm like, where's the nearest hospital, dude? This is not my area. You know what I mean? Oh, just drive. What? Just drive until I run into a hospital? Now, at this point, I am making bank. But at the same time, is it worth the shit that I'm going through right now with these two fucking meth heads in my car, smelling like fucking cigarettes and nearly fucking throwing down in the backseat of my car and having their fucking, drug-induced juices all over my shit? So finally, I took my phone, I looked on the map for a hospital, clicked it, and drove right to the hospital. I got there, I pulled right in, and I said, "Here you go." They're like, "Oh, man, thank you so much." And, I appreciate that. They went to the back. They unloaded all their shit. Finally, and by this time, it was like 9:30. Now, mind you, I started at 6:30. This took nearly 3 hours, this whole ordeal. In the end, I made a lot of money, but then my phone rang. Because I had finished the call. Once they leave your car, you hit end call or end ride, and then it tells you how much you made, and then that's it. That's your money. Shortly after that, I got a phone call. Pick it up. "Is this Lyft?" I'm like, "Yeah." "Where the hell did you go? How come this fucking ride was $279? And then I realized They probably borrowed that person's phone to get a Lyft ride. They knew they weren't paying for the fucking thing, so they milked it all the way, and I had to deal with the angry customer on the other line. And I was like, well, I dropped off these two. Do you know it? Yeah, I know them. What the hell? Where did they go? To fucking Puerto Rico? And I'm like, see. Finally, I said, you're going to have to call Lyft and you take it up with them. And I hung up the phone. I still ended up keeping the money, but boy, was that a fucking pain in the ass ordeal. And I ended up driving. And remember, it's still a 45-minute drive back. So by the time I got back to my area, it was like 10:30. And I'm like, well, I made $279. I don't need to drive anymore. And I went home. Yeah, I never. In fact, it's funny because my wife knew I was streaming tonight. She says, "Are you gonna tell the story about the Meth Heads?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't think I told them that one yet." I remember my wife laughed so hard when I told her that night. Oh my god, yeah. So it was an ordeal. I obviously cleaned my car up when I got home. There's a nice car wash here. It's like open 24/7, but they got the vacuums and all that. So I went to the back and I vacuumed and I did Febreze and I scrubbed the shit down because those are some funky ass people. Went into my trunk, sprayed it down, left my windows open overnight so the fucking smell, the fucking smoke could get out. Oh, yeah, that was a fucking ordeal.
Thank you for watching E.T.N. Click here to watch more content. Don't forget to leave a comment. Also, make sure you like and share this video. If you want to know when the next video is up, click the notification bell next to the subscribe button. And most of all, make sure to click that subscribe button for regular content.